Hi everyone, welcome to Faithful Inspirations, where we share Bible-based stories to uplift and inspire your faith. We bring key biblical scenes to life through short animated clips that inspire faith and hope. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more Bible-based stories.
A jagged bolt of white light tore through the heavy clouds, illuminating the ancient scroll as it began to unfurl. The parchment cracked under the pressure of hidden forces. John stood at the threshold, his gaze fixed on the vast expanse ahead. Before him, the throne room shimmered.
A sea of glass ignited by an unquenchable, silent fire. The floor glowed, casting long,
shifting shadows against the pillars of the hall. Then, the rhythmic sound of heavy footsteps echoed against the glass. 7 figures emerged from the radiance, their movements synchronized and deliberate. Each held a golden bowl, heavy with a weight that seemed to bend the very air around them. They stopped in unison, their eyes fixed on the horizon of a world they were about to purge.
The atmosphere turned cold, stripping away the warmth of the light until only the sharp,
metallic tang of judgment remained. John watched as the first angel tilted his bowl, a single drop of liquid sliding toward the rim. The silence deepened, pressing against his chest, as the prophecy transitioned from ink on paper into an inescapable, living reality. The time for observation had ended. The first bowl tipped. A viscous liquid cascaded down, hitting the ground with a wet, heavy thud.
Almost instantly, those marked by the beast collapsed, their skin rippling as painful. Inflamed sores erupted across their limbs. They clawed at their own flesh,
but the infection spread faster than their hands could move. Without pause, the second angel stepped to the edge of the world. He poured his bowl into the vast, churning sea. The blue water curdled, turning opaque and thick as arterial flow. Marine life surfaced, choked, and drifted into the heavy red sludge. The horizon became a wall of dark, congealing gore that smelled of iron and rot. The third angel moved to the inland springs and rivers. As the golden bowl emptied, the fresh mountain streams thickened, darkening into a stagnant, metallic sludge. The life-giving veins of the earth turned toxic.
Every living creature that sought to drink recoiled, throats burning.
As the water became an undrinkable poison, the transformation was absolute, leaving the landscape gasping and dying in the wake of the overflow.
The smell of decay hung heavy in the stagnant, unmoving air.
The fourth angel tilted his bowl toward the sun. A searing, white-hot intensity flooded the sky,
stripping the moisture from the air and cracking the parched ground. Humanity shielded their eyes,
skin blistering under the relentless radiation, yet they met the heat with rage, spitting curses at the sky as they withered.
Then, the fifth angel descended, pouring his bowl over the seat of the beast.
Light died instantly. An absolute, suffocating darkness swallowed the kingdom, thick enough to touch. In the void,
the sound of gnashing teeth and sharp, ragged cries filled the air as men bit their own tongues in blind, frantic agony. The sixth angel stood by the banks of the Euphrates. As the bowl emptied, the massive river receded, the water vanishing into the earth until the riverbed lay exposed and cracked. This dry path became a gateway. From the shadows, the kings of the east began to move, their forces pulled forward by unseen, demonic whispers. A vast, invisible net pulled tight around the gathered nations. They marched toward the plains of Armageddon, unaware they were walking into the center of a final,
inescapable trap. The air grew heavy, static charged and silent, waiting for the final breaking point.
The seventh angel stepped forward and emptied his golden bowl directly into the empty air. A vibration hummed through the crust of the earth, rising in pitch until it shattered the silence.
From the throne, a voice tore through the atmosphere, a single command that echoed across the dying world. It is done.
The ground responded instantly. A tectonic fracture ripped open beneath the foundations of the greatest cities, turning steel and stone into dust. Buildings groaned, swayed, and folded inward like paper. The mountains, ancient and immovable, cracked at their roots. They slid into the sea, sending massive walls of displaced water racing toward the broken shores. The air shook with the roar of falling stone and the grinding of shifting plates. Every structure built by human hands collapsed under the impossible force. The earth buckled, heaving upward in a violent spasm that leveled the horizon. There was no resistance, only the sound of a world disintegrating.
Dust clouds choked the sky, rising miles high as the terrain itself was remade by the force of the final judgment. The era of rebellion ended in the wreckage of a shattered planet. The violent tremors subsided, leaving only the sound of crumbling debris settling into the dust. Then, the sky opened. Massive, jagged blocks of ice rained down, each one heavy enough to crush the remnants of the fallen towers. The hailstones struck the broken terrain with a relentless, rhythmic thud, pulverizing the last standing pillars and grinding the ruins into fine powder. There was no mercy in the impact, only the cold, precise weight of finality. As the ice continued to fall, the roar of the apocalypse gradually thinned. The demonic whispers that had driven the nations toward the plains vanished,
leaving the air vacant and still. One by one, the sounds of struggle ceased.
The heat of the previous plagues cooled under the frozen barrage. Where there had once been the clamor of cities and the defiance of men, there was now only the steady, rhythmic striking of ice against the ruined earth. The dust settled into a thick, gray blanket over the shattered world. Movement stopped. Resistance died. The final echoes of the rebellion were swallowed by a profound, absolute silence that stretched across the horizon. Justice had arrived, and the world was quiet.